The new Wolfpack Beastmaster from Series 27 is an absolutely beautiful figure that I woke up at 5 AM to actually get. Today I'm going to show off some custom figures that I made using his parts, and hopefully give you guys some ideas when you find the figure. Without further ado, let's get into it. Now for me, the Wolfpack is a group of bandits in my fantasy world that isn't a typical faction of knights, but I still wanted to include some cool looking heavily armored figures. For this first guy, I've made a rough draft of what I want my Wolfpack leader to look like, and I really love this older face with the eye patch, especially combined with this cool looking hairpiece from Dory the Dwarf. I've given him the Beastmaster torso with black hands, but I've swapped the legs for these cool looking scale mail ones from a Kingdom's Dragon Knight, and they really work well for a leader. I also love how gnarly this sword looks. For the next minifig, we have a more traditional looking heavy knight using the breastplate from the Evil Knight CMF. I really love this pearl dark gray mace piece from the Bear Knight, as I think it matches the Wolfpack vibes really well. I also gave him this dark red plume because the Wolfpack colors tend to be brown and black, and I thought a little dash of color for a few figures looks quite nice. For the final heavily armored figure, we have this guy with these speckled black armor, helmet, and axe pieces that I think give a really unique look to this figure. The rest of the figure is from the CMF, and I really like this parts mashup. One thing I love about the Wolfpack is their bandity and almost piratey vibe that they give off, running around and stealing valuable things. So I decided to embrace that and create a couple of pirate inspired figures that I think fit in really well with the faction. For the first one, I've created this guy with a parrot in one hand and a gold cutlass that he stole from the D&D elf bard in the other. For the arms, I've used the right one from the battle dwarf and the left one from the fierce barbarian, and I absolutely love the look of them for this figure. I used the pirate captain CMF head to fit the pirate vibe, and then I gave him an old dark brown peasant hood to give off that classic Wolfpack vibe, and I think it works really well. Next, I've created a more armored figure, but still with a piratey vibe from the hat and eye patch. I really like the combination of legs from the Lego Movie Cat Lady for the Wolfpack, and I definitely plan on picking up a few more pairs. Another thing I love about this figure is this claw piece, which sort of gives off the vibe of a hook hand or a wolf's claw, which works extremely well for this figure. Moving on, I've created a couple of non-Wolfpack figures utilizing the arms and legs with some different torsos to really show the versatility of these parts. For the first one, I've made a cool looking knight using Eomer's torso along with some pearl dark gray shoulder pads, and I definitely think these parts are a great match, assuming you don't shatter your old dark red torso putting them in. The dark red and reddish brown are definitely different colors, but I think they complement each other well and blend together to create a cool looking figure. For the next minifig, I've created another armored fighter using the torso from the Highlander. These arms work surprisingly well, and the legs go along perfectly to match. I gave him these brown shoulder pads along with a brown cape, and the colors work really well together, especially with the pearl dark gray kettle helm to match the chainmail. Next, I've created a couple more Wolfpack members using some different brown torsos. For this figure, I've used the Series 4 Vikings torso as the base with the Beastmaster arms and legs. This guy is sort of a Viking vibe with the Viking helmet and Beastmaster cape, and I think it's a really cool look for a Wolfpack. Under his helmet, I've used the Beastmaster's head, and I think it works really well for a fierce face print, especially when the somewhat goofy looking mouth is covered up. For this other figure, I've made a Wolfpack elf using the torso from the Series 25 Fierce Barbarian. I really like the idea of the Wolfpack having some other races in it because it's just a band of thieves instead of a carefully coordinated army, so it makes sense to include more diversity within it. I really like having this Githyanki hairpiece for making yellow-skinned elves, and the hairstyle works really well for the vibe of the faction in my opinion. Moving on, I've created a couple of figures that I've swapped the arms and legs on to make them a bit more interesting and add diversity. For the first one, I've made a Wolfpack animal handler using the Dwarf Barbarian's arms, a pair of legs from the Viking village, along with the helmet from the Hun Warrior CMF. I knew when I saw that the new CMF had a wolf, I was gonna have to add some animals when I made my Wolfpack army, and I figured it made sense to have a dedicated animal handler for training and feeding the animals. I've finished him off with a falcon in his hand, and I think he's a really cool looking figure. For this next figure, I've made a longbowman using the arms and legs from Tasha the Witch Queen. If you know me, you know how much I love these parts for their versatility, and that doesn't stop with this torso. I did add a gray cape to go with the gray on the pants, but I still feel like it works with the overall color scheme and vibe of the faction. I also really like including these old peasant hood pieces when I can because that's what the original Wolfpack had. Now for the final minifigures, I tried out using the back print of the torso, and this is what I came up with. For this minifigure, I used the regular arms and legs along with a black Mando cape and peasant hood, and I think he has a really simple yet clean look to him. I love this goofy looking gold tooth face print for the Wolfpack, it just really fits their style. For the final figure, I made an assassin using the legs from the elf bard and the arms from Strahd von Zarovich with the blue fur printing erased off. I'm not exactly sure how I feel about the back print on this torso, so let me know your thoughts on it in the comments. Also, let me know your favorite figure out of all of these and what plans you have for customizing your Wolfpack Beastmasters. They're a pain to find and already a good bit higher than the Dragon Paladin on the aftermarket, which is unfortunate, but I wish all of you luck in finding how many you want. If you like Lego Castle, subscribe because I make a new video every week. Also, if you want to earn a free $30, you can sign up with Rakuten using my affiliate link in the description. As always, thank you for watching.